Every business has constraints that will limit the rate at which the business can grow. OnlyFans management is no different. However, this is a new industry, usually populated by people that have no previous business experience. So this notion of constraints limiting the rate at which you can grow is not something that you ever hear talked about by anybody. I've never heard it in anybody in the fucking OFM space. And it's not something that's talked about in the groups. So hopefully by me shedding some light on this topic for you in this video, you will be able to identify specifically what you should be working on so that you can grow your business, grow your agency. This is something that I wish somebody had made this video for me, like when I started, because hopefully it would have helped me stay focused, because I worked for many hours a day, for many days per week, for many weeks and months, possibly even years on my agency, and it did not grow. And the reason is not because I'm not a super genius, which I clearly am. It's because I was just working on the wrong things. I was not working on the things that constrained my business. I was doing other stuff like making these videos. We'll get to that later. What's up, everybody? I'm a little sick. Yalla Poppy from simphunter.com. I don't know how I got sick. Maybe it was heat stroke or something. Anyway, let's talk about constraints. Now, in OFM, there are, let me look at my notes here. I would say we've got 5 constraints, let's say. Let's just jump right into them. The first constraint is knowledge. Let's lump knowledge and experience in there. Now, these things, unfortunately, you have to gain through, I guess, saturation, right? Saturation and time. The way that OFM works is that you can't learn the entire process right away. Because in order to learn the entire process, you need to get experience in each step of the process. And you can't get experience in step 3 unless you've done steps 1 and 2. So what do I mean by this? In OFM, in order to start getting traffic, theoretically, right, you need to have a model, right? Now, okay, fine. I know you can like get traffic. The e-whores are like, oh, but actually, fine. I guess you could start learning traffic, right, before you get a model. But that's not, that's just training, I guess. You're not building an agency at that point. You're just practicing at that point. You're practicing for when you do get a model. Maybe that's a better way to do things, to be honest with you. But I didn't do it that way, so I can't talk about that. You're just going to have to watch my video. So anyway, you can't start getting traffic till you get a model, and you can't start chatting until you get traffic. So you're limited by the previous step. So the first thing that you need to do as a new agency owner, the first constraint that you need to deconstrain is your lack of experience. You need to get a model as fast as possible. You need to get her traffic as fast as possible. You need to start chatting as fast as possible. It's one way to do it. Other people like to specialize. They want to get as good as possible at recruiting. Let's take the first way, for example. First, you want to get my advice, and again, I'm just one guy. I didn't do it perfectly, but I have said many times your first 10 models don't count because it might take you 10 to get to the point where you have an idea of how this all works, right? Your first model, okay, you got her and you fucked up the Zoom call. The second model, you got the Zoom call right, but then you fucking perved out on one of her pictures. You're like, wow, you look really sexy in that picture. And she ghosted you. I did that in the beginning. Stupid. She had a great ass though, but still, shouldn't have said it. Anyway, you have to, I fucking got distracted. You have to get a certain level of knowledge and experience before you can even understand how everything connects together. So do that first. Do it badly first would be my advice. Just so you understand, just so you get the bird's eye view. Because you can't really get the bird's eye view unless you have your own little project going on. So what are the other constraints? Now, let's talk about the second one, which is traffic. Now, what is traffic really? Traffic, the reason I should have started, well, I probably should have started with traffic. Traffic is the biggest one. But what is traffic? What is traffic? Traffic doesn't just mean a lot of people, okay? What traffic really means, if we want to use business talk here, traffic means leads. You need leads. What are subs? They are leads. For those of you that have never had a job or you have no experience in the business world, a lead is a customer that you could potentially sell stuff to. That is what we need. Every business wants more leads. Every salesperson wants more leads. And if you think of subs or traffic, if you think of it as leads, how do I get more leads? Then it's a little bit easier to kind of open your mind to what your potential options are in terms of traffic. Now, as we talk about traffic, what pops into your mind is probably something like, oh, I need to get traffic. I need to figure out how to do Twitter. I need to figure out how to get babe pages up and running. I need to figure out how to do dating apps. And if you want to take that approach, that's fine. I'm not saying you should not do anything related to traffic. That should be, well, you should, whatever you do, whatever you spend the bulk of your time doing, you should have that in mind, that it has something to do with traffic. Now, there's a lot of ways to get traffic. You can pick any of the social media platforms, number one. You could do a deep dive on any of those. You can look for models that already have their own traffic. You can buy GGs. You can do paid ads. You can fucking get girls to do webcam and drive traffic from the streams to OnlyFans. You can fucking start porn sites. You can do all kinds of stuff. There's tons of things that you can do regarding traffic that don't involve you sitting and trying to fucking use proxies and all that shit. There's tons of legit ways to do it. But traffic is going to be one of the biggest constraints that you have in OFM. And you should probably spend most of your time, I would say even half of your day, like you should spend half of your day on traffic, at least. I don't know. You work, let's say 8 hours a day. So you do an 8-hour day. 4 of those hours should be spent uninterrupted. You wake up, I don't know, whenever you wake up, the first 4 hours of your day before you respond to any DMs, before you fucking do anything, should be devoted to traffic. You can like watch videos and do research on how to get traffic. You can fucking actually go post on Reddit. Like you can do the actual grunt work yourself. You can look to hire somebody, anything, whatever, anything related to traffic. Because that's going to be the biggest constraint. Because imagine, here's a good way to identify what the biggest constraint is you say to yourself, if I solved this one problem, just one problem, that made all my other problems go away, what would that be, right? And it would be an unlimited source of leads or more leads or a better source of more reliable leads that's not going to get shut down by a fucking platform change every 3 months. Something like that, right? Imagine if you had, whatever it is, in whatever shape or form it would take, you had a method of generating leads for these OnlyFans accounts that was push button and reliable and totally hands off for you. All you had to do was go fucking press a button and you would get a flow of leads and traffic. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? And really that would solve most of your problems. You wouldn't really need to worry about models, right? Because the models, you take any fucking girl and send leads to her page and she'll make money. You could have the dumbest fucking chatters in the world and most of them are fucking dumb as shit. Like I don't want to get into it. It'll fucking set me off. But like most chatters are garbage. And when I say most, I mean like 99.9% are terrible. But you can have terrible chatters if you've got tons of subs. It doesn't matter because they're going to sell something. Yeah, you should obviously try to get better ones. I'm not saying you should be okay with shitty chatters. But like if you've got the traffic problem handled, then who the fuck cares? What's the difference? Because they can, there will be enough easy customers in those leads for them to make money anyway, and everybody will be happy. So that is the biggest constraint, obviously, traffic. You should spend most of your time trying to figure out how to, and whatever way you want to do it is fine. I know I'm not telling you anything groundbreaking here, like, oh, you need to get traffic. Really? Thanks. Great video. But I guess do a gut check and ask yourself, am I really spending half of my day at least on this? And if you're not, because I wasn't, I should have, I wasn't, now I am, but I wasn't. I was distracted with other shit, but I'm unique and special. The next biggest constraint, I would say, is models, right? So the way that this works is that depending on what constraint you deconstrain, you will get pushed to the next level and you'll have a new constraint, right? So let's just talk about models briefly, because this is something that, like, if you have traffic handled, it's not really an issue, because you can take any fucking girl and throw her into whatever your system is and it'll work. Just like if you have a method for, I don't know, promoting chiropractors, right? And it works. You can take a chiropractor in Boston, or you could take a chiropractor in Seattle. This guy's Indian, this guy's black, this guy specializes in athletes, this guy specializes in grandmas, whatever. Like, it's the same shit. They're both chiropractors. Like, you're going to send people there who need their spine adjusted. Same shit. So it's really, I mean, okay, fine. Demographics are a little bit different, but it's like for subs, you've got the traffic system. Well, I guess you could say that, like, Tinder skews younger and all that, but whatever. It's really the same. I mean, let's be honest. If you have a young girl, a hot young girl, it doesn't really matter where you promote her. Like, you're going to get the same type of people, more or less. Okay, some minor differences, Reddit, Twitter, and fucking porn sites and all that shit. So models are less of a constraint, unless you take the approach of going after extremely high quality models, which I like that approach. I don't see why you shouldn't also. All things being equal, even if you're a genius at traffic, wouldn't you rather have a girl that has fucking 1 million followers on Instagram, or 100,000, or 100,000 on Twitter and 70,000 on fucking Instagram and blah, blah, blah? Wouldn't you rather have a girl like that who's already making 10K a month? You probably would. I would. And so, I mean, even me personally, that's like what I'm looking for now, is I'm looking for those girls, and I just want to help them optimize. I want to help them optimize and take the work off of their plate. So even if they make, and I know you might be thinking, well, why would they do that? They're going to make less money. People really value their time more than money. And if they make a little bit less money, but they have, 10 extra free hours a day, most people would take that in a second. If I could make 80% of what I make now, and I didn't have to do any work at all, fucking couldn't take that fast enough. All right, let's talk about the next constraint, which is, I would argue, probably the biggest one once you handle traffic. Now, again, like I said, once you solve the traffic constraint, all of these other constraints are not really much of a problem, right? If you've got traffic, however you get it, however you've solved it, maybe you've got girls that already have traffic. Maybe you've got celebrities. Maybe you've got influencers. Maybe you've got you're a genius on dating apps, and you sit on your computer all day and fucking reverse the API on whatever, all this shit. If you've got all that figured out, then all these other problems go away. Yes, you still do need good chatters, but you can put garbage, dog shit chatters on there, and they'll still make money. They'll still make money. Like fucking Nicki Minaj. Like, you take the dumbest fucking Filipino chatter in the world, doesn't speak English, doesn't know 2 + 2. He'll sell content on Nicki Minaj's page because he'll spam a mass message. Hey, I'm so horny. Buy my picture, $25. And people will buy it. However, if you haven't nailed the traffic constraint yet, and there's a lot of gray area too. I mean, maybe you have a creator. Like, you sometimes will have creators who they only want to be portrayed a certain way. They don't like how the chatter talks, which I understand. I get it. The argument is that, oh, it's my face, and like people are DMing me saying like, is that really you? And it makes them uncomfortable, which I understand. If you have a quality chatter and they're bringing in lots of money, then they're not going to care. They're not going to care. And also, this is something that you should really solve for when you onboard the model. You can tell, which ones are going to be a fucking pain in the ass. Once you see enough of them, which are the ones who are like, my brand, and I don't feel comfortable doing this. And it's like, I mean, okay, fine. Like, do whatever you want. No judgment, of course. But like, as a business person, I don't want to work with people like that. I want to work with people who are like, I don't give a fuck what we do. I don't care what it takes. I will do it. Let's make some money. That's what I want. So chatters right now for me are a big constraint, because right now I'm kind of at the point where like I don't want to say I have traffic handled, but I have some good sources of traffic now that like I mean, they're working okay. So now I'm like, okay, well now I just need more models. But then I'm like, okay, well, fuck, I got more models, and then I need chatters, which is the challenge, right? Because you still need chatters to fucking get on there and do their job every day. It's a sales role at the end of the day. I don't pay these people by the hour. Fucking pay them commission. Anyway, the last constraint. This video sucks. I'm sorry. I haven't made a video in like 2 weeks. I'm kind of sick and fucking it's like 6:30 in the morning. The last constraint is you. You are the biggest constraint in your business. So in your agency, nobody is going to care more than you. Nobody's going to work harder than you. Nobody is going to have the vision clearer than you have it. And if your brain is all jumbled up, or if you've got the wrong priorities, or if you're focusing on the wrong things, then that is going to limit you. All right, I'm over it. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe, etc., etc. Goodbye.